everyone. Today I will be reading Great Uncle Ernest's fifth letter dated March the 29th, 1917. Before I begin, I will show you this pocketbook that was amongst his possessions. It contains the Acts of the Apostles and has a message for the soldiers from Lord Robert. Lord Robert's message to the men of H.M. Forces, May the 25th, 1914. I ask you to put your faith in God. He will watch over you and strengthen you. You will find in this little book guidance when you are in health, comfort when you are in sickness, and strength when you are in adversity. So now I will begin. March the 29th, 1917, somewhere in France. Mrs. John F. Ferrier, Perth, Ontario. Dear Father, Mother, and Boys, this is trench day again, and so I'm at this job again, as I always like to write a few lines home before I start up. There is always the possibility that one may not get the chance again, and so I like to use the chance to write when I have it. It is raining today. In fact, that happens pretty often. It is our turn to be last going in tonight, so it will likely be pretty dark, and the trench mats will be slippy. I received your letter of March 1st, the day we got out, and so thought I was going to miss a couple, but the next day the ones of the 15th and 22nd arrived together, and I guess I am all right. There was nearly 3 weeks I had no news from home, and important happenings occurred in that time. I suppose among you will hear some stories of what the nursing was like, and it is easier to hear more by conversation in 5 minutes than you can write in a whole day. One thing, she was very glad to get home, but whether she has had enough of the profession or not is very uncertain. But in regards to the homecoming, what would she have felt like to be coming back from where so many of us are? I suppose you will be busy at sugar making now. I am anticipating eating some sugar after a while, and say perhaps you could send some of it anyway in patty cakes, as I will have to hand some around, and that is the best shape to handle it. Of course it may be another poor year, then you won't have much to spare. I was in the trenches on your wedding day, and I thought of you a good many times during it. It must have been quite a chore getting that tree out, but then you would be glad when it was done. I guess Hughie Miller was doing what we call going over the top when he was wounded. That is our experience that few care for, and makes many a man shudder when he thinks of it after. That's what Tom Butler and Gibson and R. Wade were doing the time they got theirs. The war news is encouraging these times, but it's not old Bill that's running the show on the other side of von Hindenburg, and he is a crafty old fellow, but nevertheless, there is only one end possible. I am surprised how well I am standing the racket, but as far as possible they try to make things fairly comfortable for us. Books are provided for a good many, and there is a supply of rubber coats for those working outside if it is raining. I am working inside most of the time now, where strong arms are the chief requisite. Well, I know that it is no use saying for you not to worry, but keep hoping for the best, and someday we will surely be together again, and I think that I will probably have seen enough of the world by then. I suppose Harold will be home for Easter. Where does Renfrew come in now? Who is showing the LSL milk this year? I suppose Cecil and Jean are still at it, and Willie and Rosie and Mabel not doing anything. Is O.C. Menzies running the homestead? I suppose Albert McVitie comes to town as much as ever. Any word of Harold P. and Mabel getting married? Anyone going with Bella Ferrier? Frank and Reba still waiting on one another, and anybody else that I used to know tell me about them, especially our Alec. But goodbye now, and love to all. Your son and brother, Ernest. Next week's video will be the 6th and last letter I have from Great Uncle Ernest. It's from March 19th, 1919, after the war. It comes from the Tecumseh Barracks, Carling Heights, London, Ontario. Thank you for listening to Reading History with Great Uncle Ernest, World War I Letters.